the library, and we're very excited to have the book launch of Shulamit Sofia's Climbing the Sacred Ladder. Shulamit has been involved with the library for several years, and she's one of our exhibiting artists in our current exhibition called Handle with Care, and her piece is on the left side, halfway down the wall over there. If you haven't had a chance to look at the exhibition, I hope you will. If you haven't been to the library before, welcome. It's free to be a member here and to borrow books and CDs and DVDs. We have about 35,000 titles here, and it's open to the public. We also do lots of events. We're coming to the end of our season, but we still have a couple of really fabulous events. One on Tuesday, a Black Over White film with the Idan Rachel Project. It's a film about the Idan Rachel Project. And on Thursday, we have Mark Cohen discussing his book, Overweight Sensation, the story of Alan Sherman. You know, hello Mudda, hello Fada. So it's going to be a great program. But we were here to celebrate Shulamit's wonderful book launch. And again, so wonderful to be able to have her at the library and to use the library in this way. We're all about Jewish education and promoting books, so delighted to have her. And now I would like to introduce Rabbi Steve Tisdale of the Mystics Center for Jewish Mystic Studies. And please then come up and to introduce Shulamit.
Okay. I know a lot of you already know Shulamit personally, so I don't know that it's necessary to go into a great deal into her background. So what I would like to do is sort of mention my relationship to Shuli, and also my endorsement, in a sense, of the book that we're here to launch. Shulamit has worked a very long time on this book, which I think is sort of in parallel with the fact that she's been on a spiritual journey for a very long time. So the work in the book itself is sort of a reflection of, or a, not just reflection, it's more like a sort of condensation of some of what she's learned in terms of developing oneself spiritually. Shuli has studied with me on and off for years, and one of the things that I find of great value in the book personally is that it's based on Kabbalist principles, and it's done in a manner that is near and dear to my heart personally, and that is to make the principles practical and applicable. So the book itself, from my standpoint, is a remarkable achievement because it's very clearly written, and it's a personal process of spiritual development and what can emanate from spiritual development. That if one puts their life in order spiritually, everything else starts to flow from it. And the book itself, I feel, is very, very, in a sense, groundbreaking, because the book really falls in the category of one of two areas that both of which I endorse a great deal. One, from the religious standpoint, is this is in a sense a book of Musar, that it's a book that deals with taking practices or adopting qualities that are deep spiritual ones and learning to adapt them in your own life and to integrate them personally. On the other hand, this is also very clearly written as a book that would also classify, in my opinion, as self-help, the personal development. So I would encourage people in general to read the book on both of those bases, in terms of self-development and also in terms of spiritual development. So I'm really very, very pleased to do two things. One, before I actually introduce Shulamit and have her come up, it seems appropriate to do the Shechechianu, actually, since this is a new experience on a lot of different levels. This is Shulamit's first book, and this is also the premiere of the book itself. So in a sense, this is a blessing for Shulamit and also, I think, for the success of the book. So if you'll join me. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, she'eheyanu v'kiyanu v'hiyanu l'zman hazeh. So it's my enormous pleasure to introduce a very old and dear friend and a brand new author.
She's not that old.
Well, in terms of my relationship, yes. Okay. And the Shulamit Sofia.
A long-term friend.
Thank you.
So delighted to see you all here. My dearest friends, my new friends, I am happy to share this very auspicious new beginning with you. And I'm going to start with a question that Greg, who I recently met, asked about how I got to write this book. And I need to say it was a calling. I had no choice but to write it. I've been working on it, as many of you know, for many, many years, and it has evolved in many, many ways. It started out as a simple Musar ethical book, The ABCs of Spiritual Growth, which have now turned into part 3 of this book, which is practice points for what we will be talking about. I have a theory that spiritual impulses are in all of us from birth, that we are divine beings in a body. The body is our temple, but that's not who we are, that we're not our roles, we're not our identity as we see it. We are really part of divine energy, and each of us has a purpose and a reason for being and something to express in the world. And climbing the sacred ladder is a way of elevating your consciousness and elevating your character and elevating your emotional responses and elevating your thoughts so that you become more in alignment with godly energy. I think we have an inborn spark in all of us. Sometimes it gets nurtured and sometimes it gets covered up. I knew I had it very early on because, as I've written in the book, there was an incident when I was about 8 years old where I wanted to talk to my father about God, because God was very real to me always. And I said to him, "What do you think about God?" And he said, "I don't believe in God," which was a really shocking answer. And it's not really a matter of belief, it's a matter of knowledge, of knowing. And so I just knew that that wasn't accurate. And so I said, "Well, then what do you think happens when you die?" And he said, "Well, you just die." But I knew there was more to life and that life continues, and it was a path that went underground for a very long time until I moved to San Francisco. And what happened